conversation is all about resilience, balance, and the hidden strength that comes with being both a caregiver and a human with your own needs. We are joined by Jennifer Robb, a true warrior mom who has navigated the complexities of mental health while learning the art of self care. This episode is about discovering how to show up for others without losing yourself in the process. Welcome to the show, Jennifer. It's such an honor to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, Jennifer, when you hear the phrase warrior mom, what does it really mean to you in the context of mental health?
So that is something that I came up with because of the way that when my daughter was struggling with her own mental health and kind of through the journey, right? Like being a warrior mom is just being there, showing up every day and fighting alongside your child for and advocating for them. Kind of just helping them navigate the feelings and the struggles that they have in dealing with their own mental health.
Mm-hmm. Right. And do you think society celebrates that strength enough, or does it sometimes overlook the emotional toll?
Yeah, I think society sometimes pushes the mental health piece down, mostly because we don't really, want to face it or deal with it. So there's definitely a lot of judgment or a stigma around mental health that I think that we need to talk about more often because mental health is on the rise. More and more teens are struggling every day with their mental health.
Yeah, and that perspective really highlights both the power and the pressure. It's eye-opening for those who might assume strength means no struggle.
Right.
And balancing caregiving and self-care often feels impossible though. What practices have been non-negotiables for you?
Yeah. So self-care, especially for moms who are in the trenches with their kids and dealing with their own mental health struggles, it doesn't have to be lavish and it doesn't have to be, super expensive or you have to be gone for 8 hours. Self-care just is finding the day-to-day things that kind of refresh your soul, right? That bring you joy so that you can go back and pour into everybody else. So, if that's listening to worship music or, taking a 10-minute walk, picking some flowers, drinking coffee on your back porch, all of those things are helpful because it's what you need in order to pour back into you so that you can then pour back into everybody else.
Yes, 100%. And were there moments when you had to unlearn old beliefs about putting yourself last?
Well, yeah, because I think as mamas, we naturally, we take care of everybody else, so everybody else becomes, priority. But when you're in the midst of a struggle, and if you're not taking care of you, then you go into full burnout and exhaustion, right? And remember, you can't pour from an empty cup, so you have to do those things in order to continue to be the best mom for your family.
Yeah, definitely. And that unlearning is like so relatable. Many listeners may feel guilty prioritizing themselves, yet your story shows it's survival and not selfishness.
Right. Self-care is not selfish. It's necessary, especially for moms. And I think that is important, that it's just being intentional with your time and setting aside that 10 to 15 minutes a day for yourself.
Absolutely. And mental health conversations are more open now, but stigma still lingers. What stigma have you personally faced as a mom?
I think the biggest thing is just that like you have done something to cause this, right? And that's not the case. I mean, the mom guilt that we carry, the mom shame, those are real feelings. But the reality of the situation is we are not the cause of what's bothering our children. And we have to be able to kind of release some of that, the guilt and the shame that we feel in order to help them kind of overcome what they're struggling with.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you navigate that judgment without letting it silence your truth?
I mean, for me, it's about faith in God, in that, I know that I'm not alone and that He is there with me in the struggle. And then it's just taking the focus off of that, right? Like you cannot control what other people think. You just can't, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're responsible for you and your child. And I think it's more about just kind of stepping into that and really kind of being focused on your child's healing and your healing as well.
Yeah, I agree. And that courage to speak anyway is so powerful. Like, it gives others permission to be honest about their own struggles. And motherhood often demands constant giving. How do you reconnect with your own identity beyond being a mom?
So again, I think that goes back to being intentional with your time, right? And doing the things that you enjoy that bring you joy and peace, right? And not getting so wrapped up in doing so much for your children, right? You have to take time for yourself, right? Finding things that you once enjoyed, if it's a hobby, right? Doing those things. And you don't have to be gone for hours on a time, at a time, but if you want to play tennis and that's what you enjoy and that helps, make you the better version of you, then I think that's what you have to do, right? You have to do things every day for you, right? It can't just always be about our spouse or our children, or it just can't always be about them. We have to take those moments to really kind of pour back into ourselves.
Yeah, totally. And do you think redefining your identity makes you a stronger parent too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, as we grow and, through each phase of motherhood, I mean, we're on a journey too, right? I mean, we are growing and evolving into who we are designed to be. And it doesn't stop just because you become a mom, right? So finding those things that bring you joy and energy and kind of refresh your soul are necessary. But it's also along, taking time for personal growth and so that you can help your children grow into who they were, designed to be.
That's such a liberating idea. That rediscovering yourself actually deepens the love you can give. And if you could share one mindset shift with other moms working through burnout, what would it be?
I mean, really and truly, it just goes back to that self-care, right? And letting go of the guilt and the shame that that you were the cause of whatever is going on in their child's life, right? And it's really about becoming the advocate that your child needs in that season of life, right? And just part of it too, as moms, we have to kind of release some of the control that we feel like we need to have, right? I mean, moms, we control every aspect, typically, especially when our children are younger, where they go, who they talk to, what they eat. And part of that is releasing some of that control and allowing our children to kind of grow and discover themselves through their own struggles.
Yeah, for sure. And what's the very first small step someone listening could take today?
It's just being intentional, right? Intentional with your time, intentional with what you read, intentional with what you watch on TV. I mean, I think so much of that pours into who we are, right? And you want to listen and to see things that speak life into you, that give you positive feelings and energy so that you don't kind of stay stuck in the hard, right? In the middle of the mess. You speaking life to yourself and having more positive thoughts, right? That's game changing for you because now you have more sense of like positivity and that's empowering, right? Because if you're staying stuck in the guilt and the shame and all of the feelings that you have, then you're not really serving anyone. So really it's just about being intentional with your time, but intentional with what you're hearing and seeing so that you can speak life into yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Like, it makes resilience feel less overwhelming and something you can build moment by moment. So, Jennifer's journey reminds us that being a warrior doesn't mean never breaking. It means learning how to mend, recharge, and keep moving with grace. And to all listening, may you remember that caring for yourself is not optional, it's essential. Start with one small act of self care today.